Okay, it is time for episode 3 of Not School, and today we're going to talk about the Bowline. This is like the knot for sailors. Everyone uses it on sailboats. I've learned it a million years ago. I used it a little bit when I was climbing. I am not a huge fan of this knot. I just feel like the figure eight is a far better knot. But if you're going to be working on a sailboat, you're going to be using the Bowline. For once, the stiffness of this rope that I'm working with benefits me in that it holds its shape really well, and you can see clearly how this knot is formed. So there's a loop, and then it loops around and goes back through that loop. And so it's super easy to visualize how this knot works. This would be around something, but the tighter you pull it, the tighter it cinches down on itself. So really nice knot. Again, you can flip it over, pull the back out, and that will free it. This is the knot, if you're old enough to have seen the movie Jaws, this is the knot that Brody is trying to learn, and Quint is saying, you know, an eel comes out of a cave and swims around a hole.
Little brown eel comes out of the cave, swims into the hole, comes out of the hole, goes back into the cave again. It's not too good, is it, Chief?
So that's a classic scene in that movie. This knot is taught frequently by using a story like that. A rabbit comes out of a hole, goes around a tree, goes back down into the hole. I don't know if that helps or not, but we'll try and figure that out. And we're going to create the loop that's going to do the bulk of the work. And it's just, we're going to cross over the standing end of the rope. And then if this is the rabbit, it comes out of the hole and goes behind the tree. This is the tree, the standing end, and then it goes back down into the hole. And I'm going to hold on to the head of the rabbit, as it were, or the sharp end or the working end, and pull it tight. And that's the Bowline. Again, this rope is a little stiff, so it's not great to work with. But start with your cross of line, up through the hole, behind the standing end, and then back down where it came from. So you can see these two are lined up, and then pull the standing end and that'll tighten it. And then once it's tight, you can give it a yank there. So that is the Bowline. So if I were just doing this knot over a table, just cross it out, through, back down, hold on, pull, and I'm done. Super nice knot. Relatively easy to do, very common knot. Again, very, very popular with sailors. This is a different version of the Bowline. This is version number 2. This is the Bowline on a bite. And I like this one a lot more. It feels to me a bit more secure. I used it when I was mountain climbing because you can put a Bowline or a loop in the middle of a line. So you've got a climber here and a climber there. You can attach another climber, or a climber going that way and a climber that way. You can attach a climber in the middle of a rope. I'm not sure how this is used for sailors. I'm sure someone can tell me that in the comments. But I like this one more, even though I don't use it that often. Bowline on a bite. We're going to start by making our loop, and then pass the bite up through the loop. All right. This is actually going to become the loop that we're going to use. And I'm just going to take the end piece and pass it around the whole thing so that it ends up back there, and then pull it tight. And that is our Bowline on a bite. And so now you've got 2 loops encapsulated by the Bowline. Super strong, doesn't come out real easy. Super nice knot. One more time. So there is my bite. Cross it over, come from behind and up through. And then this loop is going to pass around behind. Bowline on a bite. So that's two versions of the bowline, the regular traditional bowline and a bowline on a bite. Both great, useful knots. I go back to what I said in episode 1. It's about finding a handful of knots that work well for what you're doing and getting good at those knots. This is not one I use a whole lot, but I think I might because I like that knot. Okay, see you outside. The next knot video will be trucker's hitch and clove hitch. Trucker's hitch and clove hitch? Maybe just trucker's hitch. As always, like, subscribe, books on Amazon. I'll see you outside.